Brodes Media.
What is going on, everyone? Welcome on into Sports Talk with Brodes. It's nice to have the Phillies back, finally, right? There's finally sports in action to discuss every single night. But then, it's a major emotional ride. I truly don't know how to feel about these two games. I know the instant reaction is you're pissed off and you're fucking destroyed because you want them to win both of these games in one day. At the same time, if they win their next two with Vince Velasquez and Zach Wheeler, you look at it more at a broad approach. They won 3 of 4 against the Marlins, right? So I need to see more to truly tell me how I should properly digest this doubleheader. It's tough to win 2 games in a day, and I know it showed you basically what this team has been all year, and that's the frustrating thing. One game, their defense was stellar, their offense did enough, and their pitching, Matt Moore of all people, delivered 9 strikeouts, which is just ridiculous. You can't anticipate seeing this out of Matt Moore on the reg, but on that day, even though this was the same day, I guess I should say, in that moment, with that nod towards Matt Moore, it was enough. So they did their job. They took advantage of opportunities. Jazz with a big-time error, which allowed the Phillies to pursue more offensively. Then in Game 2, your offense goes quiet. Zach Eflin was a disaster, and Didi Gregorius with an error. It's a total difference. It's a major extreme, and that's why when we think of one word to describe this Phillies team, they're 500, and they're inconsistent. That's the problem. They are not a team that has this identity because they're all over the place. They can't have a true identity. It's inconsistent. It's always something new. It's wild. It's extreme. Everything's all over the place. One day it looks great. The next day it looks hideous. Then some aspects of the team are playing fine. The others are egregious, and they're blowing the game. They don't have this real identity that you can live and die with. You know what certain teams do in this league. You know the best teams in this league have a lethal offense. You know a team is going to rock you with their 1 through 5 consistently. You know what teams have a great pitching staff. They are going to rely heavily on their top dogs to perform and bring the heat, and they're going to have awesome off-speed, and they're going to fool you nonstop. Or a team like the Tampa Bay Rays last season, when they make a postseason push, you know their bullpen is going to carry the workload, and you know that's going to be a problem. The Phils, you just don't know on a game-by-game basis. And, it eats me alive at times because you see awesome production. You see great play in Game 1, and this is coming off of such a hot stretch before the All-Star break, and then it somewhat is a smack in the face. But I will dive back to this. We need to see the remainder of this series before we have a full assessment on what we saw in this action. If they split the next 2 games, let's say they lose with Vinny V and they win with Zach Wheeler, although the way things go down, it might be win with Vince Velasquez, lose with Zach Wheeler somehow, some way. But regardless, if you get the same result of 1-1 and you split with the Miami Marlins, that's not going to be good enough. Everyone keeps talking about how the schedule for the Phillies in this second half is so damn easy. Well, if it's so damn easy, you have to fucking win these series. Why is it easy? Because you have teams like the Marlins on your schedule. Because you see a struggling Braves team in South Philadelphia. Because the Nationals come to town and they have cooled off big time since the Kyle Schwarber electric month. So that's why, because you have teams like this coming up on your schedule, you have to win these series. If you don't, then it's irrelevant that you are projected to have the easiest teams when you look at the second half. So, we'll see. We'll see. And I'm sorry, I apologize for my desktop audio is not even up. So you did not even hear those. Only I heard those. So I apologize. All right, let's dive into both of these games. The Phillies win game 1 by a score of 5-2. Jankowski, 3 hits, 4 RBI, broken bat. He gets a crazy bases clearing double that gave them a 3-0 lead. Torreyes and his defense was just magnificent. I truly believe this. I don't think you win game 1 if Alec Boehm is playing third base. Torreyes was sensational defensively. He was also giving you a little 0-2 poke up the middle for an RBI as well, which helped out this ball club too. But defensively, that 5-4-3 double play that he started off was outrageous. Now, Jean Segura with the old double pump and like a 90-mile-per-hour throw to first base, that was a huge part of it as well. Jean Segura with an absolute cannon, but Torreyes starts it. Archie Bradley had such stellar defense behind him. You do not get that same outcome if Alec Boehm is at third. That is a game-changing difference, having a player that can play defense at the hot corner. That wasn't the only play that blew my mind. How about when he's charging the ball, picks it up with one hand, and delivers an electric throw? It was outstanding to watch him perform that way. You had Matt Moore with 9 strikeouts and just taking advantage not only of Jazz and the error, but when there's a wild pitch in play or a pass ball in play, I forget which one it was labeled off the top of my head. Regardless, it doesn't really matter what it was. It went past Jorge Alfaro and runners advanced. Then Travis Jankowski puts the ball in play for another hit. You might not score runs in that moment if the ball did not go to the backstop and advance those runners. You're just punching a team in the mouth. You're going to make mistakes. We will make you pay. It will cost you. And it was very solid. Here's what cracks me up, though, about the whole Jankowski thing. It started the Twitter debate that I had a few weeks ago with the whole luck in sports. And I'm going to continue that in more dialogue, whether it's a blog post or something of that nature. But it sparked that controversy again, and I really do want to dive more into it. Just not for right now, not for this specific moment. And if you did not know, you can check out my website, brodesmedia.com, and I have a section where I blog, and I write a ton of blogs. I talked about the NBA Finals and how something is missing. I talked about the Dustin Poirier-Conor McGregor fight. I do a lot of blogs, and I'm picking it up more and more, so definitely check that out. But going back to the game, his exit velocity with that 1-2 count with 2 outs in the first inning, may I add, it's so crucial to get a lead early and to tell the Marlins, you suck, it's going to be a long day. You know, that's big for me, and you saw that happen vice versa in game 2. But the exit velocity was 64.9 miles per hour. The expected batting average was 0.70. I don't give a damn what the expected batting average was. Here's reality of the situation. It was a 3 RBI double. I quite frankly don't give a damn how it happened, why it happened. It happened. That's what I care about. It happened. What I loved more, though, is Bryce Harper getting a double. Is Rhys Hoskins earning a walk? Is Didi Gregorius putting together a beautiful at-bat and earning a walk as well? He had 2 straight at-bats where he's seeing 8 pitches or so, and that's monstrous when you have someone like Sandy on the bump who can tear you apart. He can do some damage. Wasn't his strongest. He was a bit all over the map, was not so sharp. When you see a lot of pitches, when you force someone to throw a lot, and he did not have the defense to help him, you know, I mean, we've seen that plenty of times in Philadelphia, but he did not have the defense to help him, and that is frustrating as a pitcher. You know, one thing I didn't touch on about Matt Moore yet is the fact that early on, there was some traffic on the bases for the Marlins, and we've seen so many times, at least in the recent, and this is something that you can apply towards baseball in general, there's something to be said about losing. I guess it's not really losing the lead, but if you give up runs in the first inning, second inning, there's this mental switch that changes. There's this feel. Don't allow the other team to score early. Now you're chasing. Now you're playing from behind. And of course, there's teams that do a better job at coming back than others, but it is a significant difference in the way that you approach at-bats, the way that you put more stress on yourself, the way that there's more pressure involved. There's no need for that, and Matt Moore, early on, gets a big strikeout. Aguilar's up to bat. There's a man on third base. He got out of some wonkiness there in the first inning, got a couple Ks, but that was big because the difference is now you're down and you have to play from behind. It's the first inning. I'm not saying that is the game, but it could definitely play a role in how at-bats go. Moving on into the game. Moving on to the third, fourth, fifth inning. The scenario is different. Pitchers pitch differently with the lead compared to a tied game. And who knows? Who knows what that could have done? Top five is when the 5-4-3 double play happened and then the one-hander happened in the sixth. Sandy went 3 innings with 80 pitches. He walked 3 batters, allowed 3 earned runs. When you think about the bullpen, Archie Bradley came in. I mentioned how awesome his defense was behind him. How about Ranger Suarez shutting the door in a 5-2 game? And there was some velocity through his pitches as well. You know, it was a little bit of, whoa, what do we got here, Ranger? Whoa, Ranger, we're in the mid-90s now, huh? Can you keep it going? There's no doubt that he has confidence right now, and confidence is very big, very large, especially in that role. You need to walk onto that mound and basically say, go fuck yourself. I'm going to win this matchup. You don't stand a chance, you bitch. I'm going to annihilate you, you piece of shit. That's what you need to say. And Ranger Suarez right now, I don't know how long this is going to last. I don't know if this is necessarily the answer. All I know right now it is, and it's your best option, he feels that way. That emotion I just poured out by talking about what you need to be feeling when you do it. That's that level of fuck you. He's doing it. He's doing it. And he delivered in the big moment. You could see the reaction afterwards. Bang! Bang! Ranger Suarez. Amazing. Absolutely amazing. So in Game 2, in that 7-0 loss, no Bryce Harper in the lineup for Game 2. Now, they did show a clip of him in Game 1 because of the heat, and it was a hot day. They were putting stuff on him to try and keep him going, you know, like they were putting a towel over his head, and they were doing things of that nature to keep him in the game during such a hot day. And it was a hot day. I'm not upset with Andrew Knapp and JT Realmuto in both of these games. That makes a lot of sense behind the plate. In right field, though, to me, that's a joke. And Joe Girardi said after the game that he would have been available to pinch hit. It just defines sometimes with this team how many times I hear, well, this guy's not available, that guy's not available. There's so many fucking players that are not available out of the pen every single damn night because they baby these guys. I'm not telling you that dehydration should be looked at as not a big deal. My thing is, it's the first game back from the All-Star break. They haven't played in how many days? You're trying to make a serious push. It also defines where they are with this pitching rotation. Yeah, they won with Matt Moore. That's great. You come out of the gate with Zach Wheeler and Aaron Nola and Zach Eflin, and you run through your lineup. That's what you do. You want to make a statement. You want to say we're trying to compete with the Mets to win this division. You don't just pass up opportunities to get the top of your rotation back in action. But instead, they flirt around and come on! Yeah, let's just play whoever in right field. Do you want to win or not? Bryce Harper could have played. Dehydrated. Yeah, but he's available to play if we need him. Okay, which one is it? Which one is it? He needs to play. It's a joke. It's a joke. The way that that's handled. It's a joke. It's fucking Bryce Harper. Where are you in the standings? What is your message? Do you want to go win? Unbelievable. It was more of a precaution thing than anything else. Precaution. Well, that's why you're 500. Because all you worry about is precaution. When is it time to go play? You either want it or you don't want it. I'm not yelling at Bryce Harper specifically. This is an organization thing. They handle things wrong all the time. Look, player safety matters. Keeping these players in a spot where they are put in a good position matters. There's a line, though. There's a line. And they go way too extreme to the soft. You're playing right field. You're in a race. Do you want to win the race? Or do you want to be stuck in the middle of the pack? Because the way that you handle things keeps you stuck in the middle of the pack. Bryce Harper started a lot in that game, in that first game. The double was big, gets things going. He does little things. How many times do I stress, leadoff walk for Bryce Harper. Oh, what do you know? Here comes the rest of the lineup. Here they come cruising. I don't find it, it's not ironic here. Like game one, there was more offense. Wasn't the most explosive in the world, but it was enough. 5 runs can win you baseball games, no doubt about it. It wasn't egregious. And in the other game, you have 1 hit for basically it all. Come on. And for Didi's error, he had a spot early with JT on third to maybe make something happen in a bullpen game, may I add. Strikeout. Unacceptable. You piss away runs, or I should say, you allow the other team to get runs, and you piss away an out. When you get a chance on the other side, you better explode. You better help your team out. You owe your team one. Came up with a spot, failed. Walked back to the dugout. Unacceptable, Didi. And you've costed this team a lot lately. It goes back to the Bohm thing. You know how much Bohm has costed this team defensively? Too much. I don't care about his hot June. He hurts you more than he helps you. Didi, he's hurting you more than he's helping you. It's unacceptable. Who knows what happens if the first inning is bang, bang, bang? Who knows if Zach Eflin's fighting the same way out there? He might. I mean, he did not have his stuff tonight. He did not. He was all over the map. He was fighting himself. It was a tough day at the office, for sure. With that said, things could change. I've seen Vince Velasquez go through a couple innings where he was off, and then he got you through 6. If Vince Velasquez can do that, this was about 2 starts ago. Zach Eflin could probably do the same. I'd put money if Vince Velasquez could figure it out like that. Zach Eflin could. But once you go down that way, and you're already fighting yourself and you're fighting your teammates, not physically, I'm just saying, you're fighting their flaws, you're throwing more pitches, it's a problem. Now, he got rocked. I mean, he did get squared up pretty good. So did De Los Santos, by the way. And here's another thing. You have a rested bullpen. You haven't played for a while. De Los Santos. Now, is that the difference in the game? No, because the offense stunk and you scored 0 runs. But De Los Santos? Really? Huh. What am I missing? What am I missing? Because he stinks. That's for damn sure. He stinks. What doesn't stink, though, is DraftKings Sportsbook. DraftKings Sportsbook is not only my favorite sportsbook, but also America's top-rated sportsbook. I love using DraftKings Sportsbook. It's easy to navigate, has plenty of instructions for new bettors, and nearly limitless ways to get in on all the action. My friends and family have been loving DraftKings Sportsbook, and I know you will too. Listen to this great offer. Download the top-rated DraftKings Sportsbook app right now. Use promo code Brodes when you sign up, turning $1 into $100 in free credits. Bet on any basketball team of your choice to win their next game, and if they do, you will claim $100 in free credits. That's promo code Brodes for a limited time. Only at DraftKings Sportsbook. Must be 21 or older. Pennsylvania only. New customers only. Restrictions apply. In partnership with Meadows Racetrack and Casino. See DraftKings.com/sportsbook for details. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Okay, let's crawl on over to the Anytime Hotline to hear the reactions after this double header. Here we go.
I don't understand how this poverty franchise keeps splitting series with the fucking Marlins. Holy shit. Bro, come on. Please.
Look, I get it. I told you from the jump, this Phillies team, does not do a good job in the doubleheader department. It's not something that they thrive in. So heading into this, I figured there would be some time where they were not going to pull it out. Like, this is who they are. This is enough of a track record to know that they do not do a fantastic job in this area. We don't know how this is going to play out, though. If they win with Vinny, the Marlins are not the most special team in the world. I don't have a lot of faith in Vinny V. I don't have a lot of faith in Matt Moore. I don't have a lot of faith in these guys in the back end of the bullpen. But when you play a team like the Marlins, you might be able to get an advantage over them compared to another team. Like, you might be able to take advantage of these sloppy pitchers that you have against a team that isn't the most explosive in the world. So you could win a game with Vinny V against the Marlins. It is possible. It's not the most outrageous thing in the world. Zach Wheeler, well, you could win any game with Zach Wheeler on the mound. So, yeah, you split this doubleheader. There's still 2 more games, and that's why I'm struggling with my emotions right now, because I am outraged and I'm bothered, if you couldn't tell from the screaming 20 minutes into this damn show. At the same time, you win the next 2, and you go 3-1 against the Marlins. And this game is you can't win them all, but you still won the series. If you split the series, yeah, it's unacceptable. Absolutely, it's unacceptable. The full 4-game series, if you end up splitting, it's unacceptable. As I alluded to before, you looked at how easy the schedule was because of these matchups. You can't just allow that to not be taken advantage of. That's the difference. This Phillies team, though, I'll tell you what, they sure know how to get that spike. They know how to get that rise out of us, huh? Blood boiling. You see Ricky Bo after Game 1, he's ready to hoist the commissioner's trophy. You see Ricky Bo after Game 2, his face is red.
Not good enough. Not good enough if you're truly contending for a division title to lay an egg in the second game of a doubleheader. That, honestly, I think you needed to sweep this 4-game series to deliver a message. Not good enough by Zach Eflin. Terrible performance tonight. And I'm baffled by why Bryce Harper doesn't start in Game 2. Did they just not have an all-star break that he didn't participate in? Why, when you're fighting for a division title, don't you play your best lineup? I don't understand that on the part of Joe Girardi.
Couldn't agree more. Couldn't agree more. Even with the whole dehydration thing, if he's available to play for you, if you need him, he could play that game. And it's just the Phillies organization going way too far. And if I'm Bryce, there's a little bit of me with Bryce too, where it's like, come on, man. Come on. Right? If Bryce wanted to play, he'd be out there, don't you think? Don't you think Bryce Harper has enough power? So can I look at Bryce to any degree and be like, yo, dude, do you want to be out there and compete or not? Come on. There's no way it was that extreme. Unbelievable. Now, a few things. You said if they're truly a contender or if they're truly contending. Well, they're not. They're not truly a contender or truly contending. It's just because of the division being horrendous. So by default, yes. But does that mean they are truly contending? If you're a true contender, that's because you're actually good and you're solid at your job. If you're where the Phillies are, which is 500 baseball, and technically you're in play because nobody else in the division wants it, are you truly a contender? I feel we know the answer to that. The answer is no. No, they're not. They're not. We're excited because they're in a spot because everyone else stinks. So I'll answer the question for you. Are they truly contending? No, we know that. This is all fake. This is all nonsense, but we're holding on to it because it's July and we're waiting for Eagles football where there's already drama of people not liking the head coach. So, that's basically what we're doing, and we're all acknowledging that. You also touched on needing to sweep this series to make a statement. I don't necessarily agree. 3 of 4 is fine. 3 of 4 would still make a statement. If you win Padres series 2 of 3, 3 of 4 against the Cubs, 2 of 3 in Fenway, start the second half with 3 of 4 at home against the Miami Marlins, that is a fine statement to make. I truly do believe that. So the sweep would be all candy. And at this point, that's rule it out of the equation because it's impossible. A 3 or 4 is fine. I don't demand the sweep. The sweep is a very difficult thing to do no matter how bad the opponent is, especially in a 4-gamer.
Those Matt Moore jokes are becoming more stale than the 3-year-old coffee Brodes drinks every morning. 9 strikeouts and only 2 earned runs to get us over 500 at first time in a month. That's 1. 3 more to go with these smelly fish.
Okay, so that was clearly after game 1. This caller calls in a lot, which I appreciate, but way too optimistic after thinking. Matt Moore stinks. Matt Moore stinks. He's going through, I love this, right? Like someone who's bad has a couple games. And then it's, whoo, look at this guy. You were wrong about him. No, we weren't. No, we weren't. It happens all the time. Matt Moore, keeping you involved. That's where we're at now. Well, Matt Moore's keeping you involved. Matt Moore's ERA is 5.40, okay? Matt Moore's not good. Did he have a nice game? Yeah, sure, he had a nice game. I won't take that away from him. 9 strikeouts. Awesome. He had 4. What was he? Where are we now? July 10th against Boston when they won 11-2. He went 4 1/3, allowed 2 earned runs. Previous to that, 4 innings pitched, 2 earned runs, 5 walks in between both of those games. Then he had a 5-inning game. Prior to that, 2 innings, 1 inning, 1 inning, 2 innings. Is this when he was in the bullpen because he stunk so badly he couldn't even start? Okay, so the last couple of games he'd been giving you 4 innings. And we look at that as he's giving you an opportunity to win. Look, it was nice. It was exciting. 9 strikeouts. Whoop-de-doo. Let's not go too overboard here and start claiming that you got something in Matt Moore. Because guess what? There's going to be games where he's going to get absolutely shelled because he stinks more than he's giving you 9 strikeout outings, okay? I just think it's a little too much here. A little too much, in my opinion.
I just can't stand this team. Like, you're having a doubleheader against the Marlins. The Marlins, if you want to be getting ahead in your division, these are the games you need to be winning. Like, seriously. I just can't with this team right now. Like, they're doing good one day, the next day this happens. Like, you can't be splitting these kinds of games with such a bad team. You just can't.
I'm with you. Look, I get it. Today, we don't have the power of knowing what's going to happen in the next 2 days. So, you're right. It is annoying and it's upsetting, no doubt about it. But I guess here's my different view on it, if you will. It's not even different. I think people understand, but maybe they don't. Maybe they don't. I've been trying to tell people this is what the team was. That's why after the last couple of series, it was all like, oh, what do we got? We got a 500 baseball team. We have a team that's 44-44 heading into the All-Star break. We have a very average baseball team. Now, they're average in win-loss total, but when you think about the emotional ride, it's the complete opposite. It's extreme, but they find themselves, even with that extreme high and extreme low, with a very average record. That's what they are. That is who they are. So, is it the expectations were too high and people were blowing it out of proportion? Maybe. Maybe that's where it's at, but I kind of been like alluding to it all throughout the last couple of days, even when we were kind of heading into the All-Star break. Let's pump the brakes just a little bit, because while we're excited about a 10-game stretch after 88 games, there were 78 other games, and we can't just pretend what happened throughout those games are irrelevant and do not matter. No, they do, and this team has a lot of problems. This team does have a lot of flaws, and they are in play because of how disastrous everybody else is, and that's the reality of the situation. So I'm intrigued, though, on how they respond. This is big. What type of team are they? There's adversity here. There's pressure on them in these next 2 games to put it on. Let's go. What do you got? What do you have? Prove me wrong. Now, I think I'm right, but prove me wrong. Say, Brodes, you're an asshole. You think you know us. You don't know us. Now, quite frankly, I feel I do. But come out in these next 2 games and kick them in the teeth and keep rolling and head to New York, who's in a very emotional battle right now with the Red Sox. And may I add, not looking sharp in the first one because they're not that great of a baseball team. Unreal.
What up, Brodes? I just wanted to say, disappointing that we split the header. Matt Moore with 9 strikeouts, surprising. Didi, horrible defense in game 2. Got shelled. Poor Eflin. This team just baffles me.
The energy, I'm laughing in pain. It's not because it's actually funny. The energy, though, is just so disappointing to hear because after game 1, I mean, you should have saw Philly's Twitter. This team's got something. This team's about to roll. And it is wild to think about where we would be if they did pluck through game 2 with the win and came out victorious. I mean, it would have been an awesome feeling, and it would have put so much more swagger into tomorrow with Vinny V. And now it's somewhat neutral, and it just hurt. It was a gut punch. It was a kick in the testicles, and now you're laying there knowing your balls are in your stomach, and you're just waiting for it to go away, and somehow we're sitting here waiting for Vince Velasquez to be the one to take that pain away by coming out and throwing a solid 6 innings or so to keep you involved. But, yeah, you know, it just I think about it in a disappointing way. Where we would be right now, our feeling right now, if they would have won both. It would have just been tremendous, and instead, it's more, all right, well, they kind of are who we were afraid that they were, and that's not a good feeling. But, you know, they could change that. They could change that with 2 wins. They have 2 games left against this team. They can easily change it. It's in their control. They control the way we feel. They control the way we react. You listening, Danny Green? Did you hear me, Danny Green? We react based off of your play. You go and win, we're happy. Can't blame us. You go and lose, we're pissed. Can't blame us. We react. You perform. The cards are in your hand. And with that said, thank you all so much for listening to this episode of Sports Talk with Brodes, and I will see you next time.